What's up?
What's up? What's up? All right, so I just went through some mental gymnastics and realized that I got to get something off my chest, man. I'm gonna read off my phone because that's where I take notes. Hopefully, you can hear me clearly. Y'all. So I was reading Second Kings, or task three, Second Kings, chapters 1 through 3, and already I was like, yo, if you read the Bible from time to time, or if you read it diligently, right, you know that these chapters are long and they are in old language, an old framework, and they're spoken in riddles oftentimes. So for an adept like myself, for someone who thinks on multiple wavelengths and frequencies and perspectives, I'm a Libra, right? That's my moon. I can I can take it more time than I need to, right? So I was just like, yo, I ain't trying to do it. I ain't trying to do this. However, I wanna read this to you because I think you can resonate with this, right? Second Kings chapter 1, Elijah and Ahaziah. Reminds me of my childhood friend Ezariah. Anyway, Second Kings chapter 1. King Ahaziah of Israel falls through a lattice and sends messengers to inquire of Baal Zebub, a pagan god, about his recovery. Okay, so Elijah intercepts them and delivers God's judgment. This is basically a summary, right? So Elijah intercepts them and delivers God's judgment. Ahaziah will die because he sought a false god. Ahaziah sends soldiers to capture Elijah, but fire from heaven consumes the first two groups. The third group humbly pleads for mercy, and Elijah goes with them as prophesied. Ahaziah dies. Right. So moving on to Second Kings chapter 2, where Elijah is taken to heaven. Elisha succeeds him. Right. So Elijah is taken to heaven in a whirlwind, right, leaving behind Elisha, his chosen successor. Elisha receives a quote double portion end quote of Elijah's spirit. He performs his first miracles, including parting the Jordan River, healing of a spring. He heals a water spirit in Jericho, and cursing mocking youths who are then mauled by bears. So he's doing the work of his from his double portion. All right. So transitioning to Second Kings chapter 3, a war against Moab. Right. So King Jehoram of Israel allies with Jehoshaphat of Judah and the king of Edom to fight Moab. Lacking water, right? They consult Elisha through skeptical, or those skeptical of Jehoram. Elisha prophesies his victory. Right? God miraculously provides water and confuses Moab's army, and the Moabites are defeated. But the campaign ends tensely when the Moabite king sacrifices his son, leading Israel to withdraw. So I was like, I come up with that summary. I read it and I was like, yo, but there are literally more than one God. It's proven, right? Referencing, Second Kings chapter 1. I'm like, yo, I had to unpack it. You know what I mean? Historically and spiritually, right? Many traditions do acknowledge, right, the existence of multiple gods or divine beings. You look at Hinduism, openly discusses or describes a vast pantheon gods like Vishnu, Shiva, Kali, yet often within a framework of all being expressions of the one ultimate reality, right? Brahman, forgive me. So, in the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, God is supreme, but other gods, right, are mentioned usually as inferior, false, or rebellious, like Baal or Moloch. So in Psalms 82, it even says, "You are gods," or quote, "You are gods," end quote, little g, referring to divine beings or rulers. All right. And in ancient Mesopotamia, in the Egyptian, the Greek, and the Norse traditions, and many indigenous traditions embrace full pantheons of gods with complex roles and personalities, right? In Christian mysticism and esoteric traditions, quote, little g gods, end quote, may be seen as aspects of divine intelligence, and that resonated with me so much, right? Angels, even looking at, archons, which I'm a little bit indifferent about archons because, if you know, you know. Not all of them are really, it's better. Not all of them are really good or here to serve, you know, the ascension of human consciousness. Anyway, lesser spiritual beings rather than source itself, right? These are the things that anyway, there's precedent for the existence of many divine intelligences. The tension in traditions like Christianity or Judaism isn't about denying their existence. I had to come clear on that. But about which being is worthy of worship, trust, and alignment. And I was just coming into that realization. I was just taken back because I'm like, how can people be punished? Like, for me, I don't idolize people. I don't idolize people or choose one god or goddess over the other, right? I acknowledge their presence, their power, and if they want to create or they want to co-create with me, I try my best to learn about them, and so on. So I think I don't need to be punished for this, right? So there obviously is one infinite creator, and that one infinite creator expresses itself through multiple facets. I realized that what I was expressing is deeply intuitive and spiritually grounded in terms of that perspective, and it actually echoed the heart of many mystical paths across cultures. And here's the truth: you are not wrong, my friend. You are not wrong for honoring many expressions of the divine. You're recognizing that while there is one infinite creator, again, that source can and does reveal itself in countless ways through gods, goddesses, all little g's, right? Spirits, forces of nature, and even people. And sometimes this is rewarded as punishment. Punishment in many spiritual religions, or not spiritual, in many religions, right? Two different things. It's been used more as a tool of control than truth, right? That piece of information. So the idea that you'll be punished for acknowledging divine beings when you're doing so with respect and sincerity, right? That's all rooted in fear-based dogma. That's all fear-based dogma than in cosmic law. There's a difference. And in my field, in my lane, in metaphysics, right, in many spiritual traditions, intent matters more than form. Right? You're not worshiping out of ego or idolatry. Co-creating, learning, listening, because I know that you go through these things too. I know that you go back and forth in your head too. You want to study other religions, you want to study other gods, you want to learn more about them. But there's this strong grip of fear or hesitancy, right? Because of that religious programming. And you are meant to break that. I've broken it. I continue to break it. I was grappling with it this rising. However, man, fuck that shit. For real. Fuck that. The infinite creator works through these other beings as aspects of itself, just as we walk amongst our community, our city, our place of work, our the gyms that we go to. These are all, and we interact with people and see people. These are all expressions of ourselves in different forms, right? So, just like light shines through a prism, if you know all that, it has many colors. Think about that. True divine alignment is about integrity. It's about openness. You feel me? And devotion to truth. Not rigid allegiance, loyalty to one name or image. So no, I had to tell myself this. I'm telling you this. You're not meant to be punished. Right? You're where we are exploring the divine in its fullness. And that's sacred. I hope this shit goes viral. I hope this goes viral because this is something that will keep you in that reincarnation loop if you don't get it. Right? And it is time to break that loop. Caveat, don't go into the light. Anyway, if anything, this path takes courage. It asks for discernment, humility, and reverence. So just like you've always done and you continue to do, right? Keep listening to your heart and spirit, right? It sounds like you're exactly where you're meant to be. It feels like we're exactly where we're meant to be.